Hi, I'm Cheryl, and I have this lovely Thanksgiving or just a I'm thankful for you card today, and I'm using the Painted Harvest stamp set and the Painted Autumn Designer Series paper on it. And I think it came out just lovely. I saw one very much that was very much like this. It was the inspiration for this card on Pinterest, I think it was. And I wrote down, let's see, I wrote down who did the card I saw. Stampin' with Christy was the person. Um, but I've changed it a little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit from her card. And let's get started on it. So we're going to need some Peekaboo Peach cardstock. That's 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. That's our base. And very vanilla cardstock. We need a piece that's 5 1/4 by 4, and a piece that's 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. I have some coordinating strips of paper from the designer series papers, and one set of them is 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4, and the other set is a 1/2 inch by 5 1/4. I just turned my phone going off. So it figures I don't get a phone call all day, and now as soon as I get in my craft room, it goes off, somebody calls me. But then we need also very vanilla. We need a piece that's about 2 3/4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to be stamping and fussy cutting 2 sunflowers. Okay, we need be using our Nuvo Jewel Drops. This is orange marmalade. I have my little fussy cutting scissors, some Stampin Dimensionals, and of course our Painted Harvest stamp set. We'll be using this I Am Thankful for You stamp. We're using the backgroundy flower stamp, the more detailed flower stamp, and then the same for these leaves, and of course the flower center. We'll be using all of those. And then the inks we'll be using are Early Espresso, Garden Green, Peekaboo Peach, Daffodil Delight, and Lemon Lime Twist. That's quite the pile of stamp pads. And we'll also be using our Tombow Multipurpose liquid glue. So let's start out with the stamping. I'll do my flower first. I've already done one and fussy cut that out so that you didn't have to watch me stamp and fussy cut 2 of these flowers. You see how good I am to you? So let me get my background for the flower, or the base of the flower, and we'll be using the Daffodil Delight ink for that. Let me get that inked up. And when you stamp this, you're going to notice that it doesn't seem to be covering all too well, but don't worry, that's how it's supposed to be. Okay, so you see, it's supposed to be kind of blotchy like that. You're not supposed to get the whoopses, but that's me. I tend to do a little rock and roll on my stamps, and that's not the best way to stamp, but unless I'm paying very close attention, I do give it a little roll and get those little things out on the side. But luckily that's not going to be a problem, because we're going to fussy cut this, and those will all be cut off. Okay, now I've loaded the more detailed one with the Peekaboo Peach. I'm going to kind of try to line up my center and give that a good press. And, oops, it's stuck. There we go. Now we'll get the early espresso out. And stamp our center. And there's probably a way to line these up. I'm sure there is. But you know what? I find that it doesn't really matter all that much. Okay, and there's our center. And while I have the early espresso out, I'm going to get our smaller piece of Very Vanilla, and I'm going to stamp my greeting, because I know where I want my greeting. I want it kind of towards the side and a little bit up from the bottom here. And down, straight down. See, if I do this straight down, straight up, and then I don't roll. This is my little mantra when I'm stamping. Straight down, straight up. Now I notice I didn't get a real good impression on here. You see right here? So I'm going to quick grab, this is why it's so nice to have the coordinating markers. I'm going to quick grab my marker. No, that's not the right one. I'm going to get my early espresso marker. Yep, that's this one. And with the fine point side, I'm just going to fill that in. There we go. Now, if I had used one of the stamping platforms like the Misty or Tim Holtz has that nice one now. I actually got that for my birthday, and it does work really well. So, see, all fixed. I wouldn't have had to worry about that if I was using a stamping platform. So I'm going to fussy cut this out, and I find that if I just quickly cut away all the excess paper, that's very helpful when you're fussy cutting. And I'm not getting in very close. And you'll notice as I fussy cut, I turn the paper. You see, I'm cutting all these little bits off there. I whoopsed. I don't know what else to call them. You turn your paper. I saw someone else did a video, and they used I think it was a 1 3/4 punch, circle punch. And they just cut out their sunflowers with that. I thought that was so clever. Said, aha, I know what you're doing. You're just getting out fussy cutting. So, the weather here has finally gotten pretty decent. We have a tropical storm Philippe coming through, and yeah, I'm real happy with Philippe because he dropped the temperatures here. It's finally nice enough he can go out and do something. It's like in the high 70s and low 80s now. So in case you don't know, I'm in South Florida, and we're actually considered the subtropics. Now, if you fussy cut and you see that you've gotten little bent up edges here, don't worry about that. You just take your bone folder and flatten it down. I actually find it works better from the back. I don't know why I even did it on the front. But just go with your bone folder, flatten them all out. And it's good as new. Okay, so we've got our flowers done. we've got our I'm thankful for you done. So let's move on and start assembling our card front. So now I'll get my bigger piece of Very Vanilla and my strips of Designer Series paper. This is really a lovely set of designer papers. I try to restrain myself when buying designer papers because I end up buying too many, and then I get them and I'm afraid to cut into them. Do you do that? And I have all these lovely designer papers I've never used. I found a use for them though. I recently got the gift bag punch board, the Stampin Up gift bag punch board, and I'm going to use, anytime I have a little package, look at this. Isn't this cute? I used some designer paper that's now been discontinued. I can't use it to video for you guys because there's no way for you to get it anymore. But anytime I have a little something for birthdays or Christmas, I'm gonna use it up. I'm gonna make little boxes or little bags, gift bags. I got the box punch too. I think Stampin' Up might have discontinued that now. Not sure. Okay, so we're gluing. In case you're wondering what I'm doing here, we're gluing the 3/4 inch strips of the Designer Series paper, even with the edge of our larger piece of Whisper White, or not Whisper White, Very Vanilla. Okay, so now I'm going to take the smaller ones. I'm going to leave about a ½ inch here, and for those of you that like to measure, by all means, measure. I'm just going to guess. Okay. So this is the ½ inch strip. Yeah, that looks about ½ inch. What did you say? And we'll do the other side. I just love these papers and just the colors of this card. That's why I decided I'd do a kind of sort of share, copy and share. It would be a case card. Copy and share everything. Okay, so now we have this on our card front, and this piece needs some leaves on it. I'm going to put my flowers right about here and here. I'm going to grab a pencil, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide my flowers this way and make a little mark here and here. Now I'm going to position it again, and I'm going to slide them that way. I'm going to make a little mark here and here on my paper. And maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. Okay, you see my little marks? That's going to give me a guide as to where to position my leaves. Okay, so I've got my leaves here. We'll start with the back, the base of the leaf, the leaf base. And we'll use the lemon lime twist. And let's see. I'm going to have one sprig of leaves come up this way. Now, no rocking and rolling. Oh, there we go. Don't want to rock and roll on this. And then I'm going to have some come down this way. And again, this is just like the base of the flower. These are not going to stamp real solid. It's supposed to be kind of a watercolory look to it. And then I'm going to put another cluster of leaves over this way. Okay, I can close up my lemon lime twist. Take my stamp off of here. You know what? I've just got another block here. I've got a whole bunch of blocks. I made a bunch of them myself. I got let's see, it's 3/4 inch acrylic, and cut my own blocks out. I have one of my videos. I sort of explain how I did it and where I got the acrylic. I didn't go into any great detail because that would have meant taking you out into my workshop and showing you me cutting them out on a bandsaw. And well, I just didn't want to do that. Okay, so I'm using the detail. I'm using the garden green. So there's my detailed stamps. So now I have my leaves that will be in the background here. And now we will attach this. Now if you wanted to, you could pop this up and give it a little bit more dimension. I'm just going to use the Tombow. I'm going to have this part flat. I'll be popping up the sunflowers. But if you want a little extra, then get your dimensionals and pop them up. Okay, so now I will put this on here and center that on my card front. And we're ready to put our sunflowers on now. Put a couple of, good, I think 4 of these dimensionals. This is a pretty good size flower. Okay. Peel our little backs out off. If you give them a little poke with your fingernail, that helps to get them to come off easier. And I'm going to put one up top here. Let's see. Like this. And I am going to overhang my designer paper here a little bit. I like to do that. It doesn't look like my flowers are all boxed in. They're free to roam. Okay, and now I'm going to put the lower sunflower. I'll put that right here. And I'll be overhanging the edge a bit here also. You don't want to go past the edge of this paper though, because that might be going just a little bit too far. Okay, so we have our card front ready to attach to the card base. So make sure it's opening the correct way. And I'm using the Tombow again, but again, if you want to pop this up, you could have a really dimensional card and just pop everything up. Well, I think I got enough Tombow on there. Went a little overboard. Okay, so there we go. So now my card base is down. We're almost done. As a matter of fact, you could stop right now and it would be a perfectly lovely card. But I wanted to do a little something more. And so I'm going to be using the Nuvo Jewel Drops, and these are the transparent ones. And the way you use these, you want to hold your your container, your bottle, straight up and down if you can. Let me see if I can get this so you can see it. And you want to squeeze out a little glop of this, of the medium, and that's what touches your card, not the tip of the applicator, that little blob of the product. That's what touches your card. Okay, so I'm going to give myself a couple of little drops here. Maybe one up here yet. You want them to look kind of random. Don't try. This is the hardest thing in making cards, I think, is when you're putting embellishments like this on, is to keep it random. Because don't you find that you have a tendency to try to line them all up? I know I do. And maybe I'll put another one here. I think that's enough now. But these drops are nice. Now when you're done, tap them on the table, wipe your applicator tip off with a little paper towel, and then squeeze the bottle a little bit, and you'll hear a huffing noise. And that way you know that all the product is cleared out of the nozzle, and that will help keep it nice for you for much longer. So there we go. Our card's all finished. I almost touched that one. I haven't put anything on the inside because I haven't decided just yet what I want to put there. So I will probably put a piece of very vanilla cardstock inside here and stamp something on it, or just write something nice. But we're finished. So if you've liked my videos, be sure to hit the like button down below. I always like to see that. If you have any questions or comments to make, you can do that below also. If you'd like to see more of my videos, then please do hit the subscribe button. I appreciate all of my subscribers. And if there are any Stampin' Up products that you'd like to purchase, you can come shopping with me 24/7, either my Facebook page or my website, and that's listed below. And as always, all of the materials that I've used today will be listed down below also. So, y'all take care, stay safe, and happy stamping.